Well, welcome back into Studio 10. We're going to be wrapping up March, which is, of course, Reading Month, but we have been celebrating with libraries and local authors all month long, which has been a blast.
Yes, it has been, and we've also been celebrating by doing our own reading ourselves, so it's time to bring out our Studio 10 Book Club!
And we learned that reading 20 minutes a day can really impact literacy. Have you felt impacted?
Yes, very much been impacted. Also been really impacted by recommendations, because that's what's going to bring us to our first book. So I've been reading Britney Spears' The Woman in Me, and first I have to say, Claudia, thank you, because you inspired me to read this book.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, we talked about it. You said you read it in a night, and I definitely see why. So if you take a look right here, we have the book, and I have a quote that really kind of took me. It says, "The cameras were trained on me, waiting to see how I would react to this criticism, if I would take it well, if I would cry, if I did something wrong." So you see the quote right there, and I just really like this book because I feel like it's taught me to stop putting so many celebrities on a pedestal lately, because especially with this book, we really got inside the lives and inside the mind of Britney Spears, and it just kind of makes me think I'm in my late 20s now, but so much of what we're reading and so much of when she was in the spotlight was when she was in her early 20s. And I think about all the mistakes that I've made, the ones that I am still making today, and it just amazes me at how we allowed her to just be so criticized and under a microscope. So it's kind of taught me to have a lot more grace with people in the public eye a lot more. But it's a really great book, and I definitely recommend it. So,
Ooh, I like it. Have you finished it?
No, I am kind of midway through. I'm actually at chapter 19, page 117, but you can easily go through it.
Is it a quick read?
It's a really, really quick read, and definitely you've already read it, so you're next.
I'm next.
Okay.
Claudia, you have a Kindle. That's where you're reading
so
from.
I'm like a diehard Kindle or phone reader, audiobook listener, and my next book is, the title is The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros, and I actually just started this last week. I'm only on page 50, and so far it's pretty amazing. It's about a girl named Esperanza. Now she's about 12 years old, which I remember being 12 years old. That was a really big time for me. She moves to a house with her family on Mango Street in Chicago, and she's just going through all that awkwardness and uncertainty of like puberty, and you know, it was just weird time being a girl, being taller than all the boys. So that's already going for her. And the book is about coming of age in a man's world. She has to deal with men in her own community, but also outside of her community as a Mexican American. And Esperanza really struggles to find her place, not just on Mango Street, but like in the world as a 12-year-old in general. So it's really a really special book. I'm only on page 52 actually, but I'm super excited to see where it goes.
Oh,
yeah, that's another one you have to pass along.
I was going to say, good recommendation. My book is actually Let's Get Quizzical. Quizzical. If it sounds familiar, and that's because it's written by Kelly O'Lert, and she was on our show because she's a Mid-Michigan author. And this book, Let's Get Quizzical, is a hoot. It's a cute little love story by Charlotte, who gets to compete on her favorite trivia game show, but she has to do it with her ex-boyfriend from high school. So a lot of feelings are coming back there. But the viewers love the little banter, the little, you know, like you can tell people when there's tension on air. So I love the book because there's bits of trivia in it, because it's obviously a trivia show. And so one of the trivia questions is, the first novel written by this author was published in 2014, 84 years after it was first written. Does anyone know who that author is?
No.
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
No
for
way.
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh my gosh, I read all of those books.
Yeah, that was one of the many trivia questions that are in this book. Super duper cute, and I can't wait to dive into it. It's just a nice quick read, especially when sometimes I read thrillers, so this is a nice light.
Yeah, you like the dark and scary.
You do.
I like it light.
Yes.
Fluffy and exciting in our book.
Her life is not that,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Anything but that.
But please read. We'll have this, of course, online, so definitely tell us your thoughts.
Yes, and you will allow me to take this on my shelf,
of
and
course.
so will you, and we'll pass that around.
Yes,
so
perfect.
but there's, of course,